Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and today we're pitting two broad-bladed flippers head to head. It's the ZT456 versus the Kizer Sheepdog. Let's do this. For a pocket knife that makes a statement, nothing speaks quite so loudly as a big, broad blade. And fortunately, there are some cool options on the market today that boast premium materials and build quality. So here are two of our favorites. Representing the USA is the ZT456, designed by Dmitry Sinkovich. And competing for China is the Kizer Sheepdog, designed by Chris Conway. So let's get right down to business and talk about the blades. Now the shapes aren't identical, but they both make their presence known as soon as you flip them open. The ZT456 features a broad, angular interpretation of a sheep's foot design. It's made from CPM 20CV, which is a very popular premium steel these days, and has a flat grind and a swedge with a satin finish. We've also got a stonewashed finish on the little bit of the flats and the flipper tab that has been left unground. Meanwhile, the blade on the Sheepdog is what happens when you scale a sheep's foot blade up to cleaver proportions. In this case, we get a stonewashed finish all around, with a flat grind, multiple swedges, and premium S35 VN steel. It even has a little knock right here at the front corner to keep the shape from being too static, and it echoes just a little bit a similar knock cut out on the leading edge of the handle. Now despite their girth, both of these blades deploy with ease, and as you'd expect, they feature ball bearing pivots, so there's virtually no resistance as they flick open. The ZT has a big metallic sound when it opens, very industrial. Meanwhile, the Kizer I find just a little more satisfying and even easier to deploy, partly at least because of the weight of that blade. Once you get that weight moving, there is no stopping it. As such, it can get away with a slightly lighter detent than the ZT, making the flipping a little bit easier, and this knife even has that great drop shut action. And if you're looking for that feature between these two knives, just know that the ZT won't quite do that. Both of these knives are titanium frame lock models, but each has a very different character. The Kizer is a bit more streamlined, with the ZT having a more angular aesthetic. Similarly, each one is very hand-filling, but again, in different ways. The Sheepdog scales are fairly flat, but they do have very heavily contoured edges. Makes them pretty darn comfortable for a folder. We also get a trio of cutouts in the front that add some forward motion to the design and subtract a little bit of weight. We also get a blue anodized pivot collar and a machined titanium pocket clip to round out the package. The faceted handles of the ZT tie in with that blade shape, and the way they've machined it, it sort of has the effect of radiusing the whole handle. Combined with the extra width versus the Sheepdog, this model fills my hand even better. We also get just a little bit more blue than the Sheepdog to break up the overall gray palette, including a blue metal backspacer as opposed to the open-backed build of the Kizer, and an oversized pivot that goes from blue to purple depending on the light. The ZT also opens up some space between itself and the Kizer with a lanyard hole and a blue pocket clip that's reversible for left or right carry. The Sheepdog, however, is right side only. As far as the lockup, both knives are exemplary and virtually identical in feel and operation. We get no blade play whatsoever, and each one of these models also has a lock bar insert that incorporates an internally mounted over travel arrestor. And these are going to help these knives stand up to a lifetime of hard use. As always, this is where you guys get to declare the winner. Would you take the angular and racy ZT456 or the undeniable cleaver shape of the Kizer Sheepdog? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and to get your hands on either of them, click the link in the description below to head over to KnifeCenter.com. But they moth. The Moth Radio Hour. Deep dog, no sheepdog. Can't use that.
I disagree.
Coming at you from the YouTube comments section.
Oh, it's the same shirt, so I can just use yesterday's bloopers too.